Hello, my name is Ladle, and today I want to talk a little bit about something that so many classic WoW players seem to misunderstand. I say misunderstand because I believe with 100% certainty my opinion on this is correct. That's right, I think my opinion is correct. Because when you think about it, I don't see how you can view this in any other way. Since a lot of people have been using the phrase the true classic experience. Now, what does the true classic experience mean? Well, if you think about it, the true classic experience just means how people experience World of Warcraft when it first launched. Now, this is a pretty broad statement because people experience WoW when it first launched in different ways. Through all the people who have joined my guild, and admittedly it's not a very big guild, it's only about 160, 170 people at this point, but through all of them, and the ones that have played WoW before, particularly the ones who played Classic or Burning Crusade before, they all have very different stories as to how they experienced the game. Now, recently, a lot of people have been accusing streamers and just other players of not having the true Classic experience because of one reason or another. Whether they've been running too many dungeons, or they've been AoE farming, not doing enough quests, or simply they're just playing with one group of friends and they're not going out there and meeting new people. Now, I understand that to some people, this may not be their classic experience. And if you want to quest through the entire game and meet random people and make those connections, that's awesome. More power to you. I think that's one of the coolest things about Classic WoW. But just because it's one of the coolest things about Classic WoW, it doesn't mean that everybody has to agree with you on it, and it doesn't mean that everybody has to do those things. If one person wants to play through Classic WoW by getting a group of friends and just playing with that one group of friends, why can't they? If somebody loves running dungeons and wants to run dungeons all the way up to max level, why can't they? It's unfair to say that one person is not experiencing the true Classic experience because they're not playing it the way that you want to play it. That may be your Classic experience, but it doesn't have to be theirs. And that's really what I want to talk about today. Is that recently I've been slightly upset by the amount of aggression towards people who are doing things that others don't like. Whether it's because they don't like it because they feel cheated or they feel somebody's getting an unfair advantage. One of the things that brought this up to my attention was the 10-man raids that were going on. Now, I did a couple of 10-man raids. I think I did 3 or 4 in Scarlet Monastery, and for me, it wasn't that efficient for experience. Now, I was probably doing it wrong because I'm not that good at WoW. I've never claimed to be. My guild is a pretty mishmash of players, and we don't really have a correct farming group set up to maximize it. So I did the 10-man raids, and afterwards I did some 5-man raids, and actually ended up getting more experience for doing the 5-man dungeons. I said raids, I mean dungeons, as opposed to doing the 10-mans. So for me, the 10-mans didn't even give that much experience. What they did give, though, was some of my struggling guild members a chance to catch up in levels because they couldn't find groups, whether it was because they couldn't get a tank or they couldn't get a healer. And healers is one of the big problems here, is that a lot of my healers in my guild are struggling to level because questing as a healer is very difficult. And a lot of the people who say this is the true Classic WoW experience say that in order to get the true Classic WoW experience, you need to quest. Well, as a heal spec, questing is extremely difficult. Now, you could say that you don't have to level as heal spec and you can respec at a higher level, but then we would struggle for healers for dungeons. It's a bit of a catch-22, really. I don't think there's any shame in using dungeons to get to the max level if you are a healer or a tank. After all, if you're a healer or a tank, you're probably rolling these classes for dungeons and raids. So that to you is the part of WoW Classic that you're going to enjoy. It's a bit unfair to say, hey, healer and tank players, you're not experiencing the true WoW Classic because you're not doing quests, when they're playing a class that makes it extremely difficult for them to level through questing. There's always the argument of quests with other people, but getting those other people can be quite difficult. And if you're using the logic of, well, the true Classic experience is meeting new people and questing with those new people, That's even harder. Do you expect the tanks and healers to stand around for half an hour just on the vague hope that somebody runs past them and wants to quest with them? It's a bit of an unfair expectation to set, and to say that they're not experiencing the true experience just because they're using dungeons or playing through the game with their friends is just not true. Especially because to say that people need to do quests to get the true classic experience is just wrong in the first place. People did dungeons in Classic. You had the option of leveling through dungeons in Classic. And I know a lot of people who have fond memories of smashing their way through dungeons to get one item in Classic. So, if the methods existed back then, surely all of it is Classic. Now, I realise that 10-man raids were not efficient in the true World of Warcraft Classic. And because of that, I understand why the bug was fixed. And I have no complaints about the bug being fixed. Hey, I don't need 10-man raids. I've been having fun doing my dungeons as a 5-man. And as I said, I was getting more experience doing that anyway. It's a little bit sad that some of my members are now stuck because of it, but understandably, we just need to try and make more 5-man groups for our healers and hopefully get some more tanks in the guild. Now I feel like I've been taking my time with WoW Classic. I've done a few hardcore sessions and I've managed to get my Resto Druid up to around about level 45 as of the making of this video. I'm quite happy with my pace and I'm definitely not one of the first people to hit this level. But I'm in the higher group in my guild, and that to me was an achievement to be one of the higher levels in my guild because I am the GM, so I felt like it would be nice to set an example for the other players and have them have somebody to follow as they level up. Now, I did a lot of this through dungeons. Particularly recently, as you can see, I've been doing a lot of Zul'Farrak, and oh boy have I had fun doing Zul'Farrak. I think it's really enjoyable grinding through Zul'Farrak. Even though we've done the same dungeon about 5 or 6 times, we still haven't got all the loot that we need for our rogues. And yes, we've been running it with 2 rogues and a warrior. Not incredibly DPS efficient, but these are my friends, and it's enjoyable running the dungeon with my friends. And yeah, we wipe a few times, but that's also part of the fun. Now, to say that I'm not experiencing the true Classic experience because I'm not out there questing, why? What Classic experience? Because this is Classic, and we're having a good time. Is it just that you don't like people having a good time in a way that doesn't fit your criteria? If people are going to enjoy themselves, they have to enjoy themselves in your criteria, otherwise that's not the real Classic experience. One last thing I want to touch on, and that's regarding everyone's favorite greasy, bald streamer, Asmongold. Now, I like Asmongold, I'm subscribed to him, so maybe my opinions are a little bit biased on this. Asmongold broke his promise, and he received money from viewers to get him out. It's not really the end of the world. It doesn't really affect you or anyone else. It's a level 40 mount, for Christ's sake. Paladins get it for free. Warlocks get it for free. It's not really the end of the world that Asmongold got 100 gold for a mount. I get it. He broke his promise. People break promises all the time. If you really, really hate it that much that he broke that promise, you probably didn't like his stream that much in the first place, and were just looking for a reason to dislike him more than you already do. I just thought I'd put in my 2 cents on that because, you know, it just seems like a very petty reason to get angry about someone. And the repercussions and the backlash on simply a mount are absolutely ridiculous. That being said, I haven't taken any money from my guild members or my viewers. I am a much smaller streamer, obviously, so even if I did ask for money from my viewers, I probably wouldn't make the money for a mount, or at least I would struggle to. But that's just me. I prefer helping other people out, and that's the end of my footage. Listen, thank you so much for watching, and yeah, I hope you take in some of what I said. Alright, thank you. Bye-bye.